There was a man whose name was Zacchaeus. He was a rich man, but also the head tax man. He became rich by betraying and cheating his people. An extortionist, a racketeer, even taking advantage of his family and friends. He collected taxes in his hometown for a foreign government who had taken total control. This government, well, they needed someone on the inside who knew the culture and knew the underside of the city. They needed someone who wouldn't mind taking advantage of others. Zacchaeus was the man for the job, collecting extra taxes and keeping the excess for himself. While this lifestyle left him incredibly wealthy, affording him all the pleasures life could offer, it also left him lonely, hated, isolated. And all of a sudden, when Zacchaeus took stock, looking around, he saw that he was an outcast among his own people, even looked down upon by the same foreign government he served. Over time, Zacchaeus became desperate. But you see, this time in history, Jesus had entered and walked through Jericho. And Zacchaeus started hearing rumors of a man people were calling the Son of God. The long-awaited Messiah has arrived, a man named Jesus. They all said it. They exclaimed so loudly. Jesus was moving from town to town, performing miracles, claiming to be able to forgive people of their sin. Word on the street was that the most despised of people, the lowest of the low, could receive forgiveness. Even the prostitutes, even the tax collectors. Zacchaeus wanted desperately to see Jesus, but the crowd was in his way. He was a short man and could not see over the people. Everyone knew who he was, so they shoved him out of the way, pushed him aside, and held him back. There was no way through for Zacchaeus. But he was desperate. He wondered. He hoped. Could this Jesus be the one who could help me? Zacchaeus did the only thing he could. He ran on ahead, climbed up to a sycamore tree, and eagerly awaited the man named Jesus to pass by.
And I am guilty, ashamed of what I've done, what I've become. These hands are dirty. I dare not lift them up to the Holy One.
Zacchaeus made it to the top of the tree as Jesus made his way. He could see him on the horizon. Zacchaeus in this tree, it was so metaphorical of the place of shame he had been living in. He was completely unwanted. The shame shrouded over him like a dark cloud. The others in his town had cast him out. This tree, this place of shame, was the only place Zacchaeus felt welcomed. People were gathered all around Jesus. There was so much noise and excitement, more commotion than you could imagine. people shoved through the crowd just to get a glimpse of Jesus. But Zacchaeus, he stayed quiet, out of sight, hidden from the crowd up in the branches. But as Jesus made his way through the crowd, he came underneath the tree. Something caught his eye. Looking up, he sees Zacchaeus staring right back at him from the top of the tree. And so, in the middle of this crowded scene where everyone is clamoring to get in a word with Jesus, to see him with their own eyes, to touch his robe, in the middle of this scene where there are people everywhere, where there is a sense of excitement and eagerness buzzing in the air, where people are pushing and shoving just to get near him, Jesus sees a man hiding away in a tree. Jesus gazed deep in his eyes, and instead of a look of anticipation, of hope fulfilled, Jesus sees a man who is desperate and down on his luck. He doesn't know where to turn. This man is timidly hiding away in a tree, looking to be saved, even if he didn't know it. As Zacchaeus locked eyes with Jesus, he realized that he had been seen, that he himself had been found out in this place of shame. And Jesus, this man claiming to be the Messiah, saw him, and seeing in his eyes the desperation, the loneliness, the anxiety, had compassion on him. And in that moment, the desperation turned to hope.
And I've been hiding, afraid I've let you down. Inside I doubt that you still love me. But in your eyes there's only grace now.
Jesus called Zacchaeus out by name, calling to him in the tree, in his place of shame, the desperate place he had to go when no one else wanted him because of who he was and what he had done. Jesus called to him, Zacchaeus, climb down from that tree. Come down from your place of shame, because today I am going to be a guest in your house. Jesus once said, it is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. He said, I have not come to call the righteous, but the sinners. Zacchaeus scrambled out of the tree, hardly believing what was happening. He couldn't believe this man they called the Messiah, who had come with the very power to perform miracles and forgive sins, wanted to be a guest in this filthy, dirty man's house. Everyone who saw the incident was completely indignant, groaning. What business does Jesus have getting cozy with this crook we know so well? A little stunned, Zacchaeus stood there once he reached the ground. In the presence of Jesus, he no longer felt the shame and guilt that had haunted him day and night for so long. That same shame that sent him scrambling up into the tree, isolated, alone, and desperate, had fled like the darkness of night. Just like that, Zacchaeus experienced the grace and mercy of God. He stammered apologetically, Master, I will give it back. I will give away half my income to the poor, and if I am ever caught cheating, I will pay 4 times the damage. Jesus stopped him and says, today, salvation has come to this house. And this man, Zacchaeus, is the son of Abraham. He is one of my people. For the Son of Man came to find and rescue the lost.